at 193 Fengate, Peterborough, PE1 5BH. Or call us on 01733 34 58 47. Almirad Tiles, now open.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices. Or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
दोस्ता कियां परेशान है
जरा कर है ना सारा सौदा मुक्या वा मुल्का विच पैसे भेजने
हूं नहीं मार फूड वाले की फोन खड़का ते फ्री लोकल डिलीवरी कार मंगवा
आलाता उथे क्या स्पेशल आ
उना की लबाई हाइजीन च ग्रेड 5 चीजें चंगियां मियारी ते सस्तियां ते नाले ऑफर ही ऑफर
और क्या
ताजा गोश्त ताजी सब्जियां ते फ्रूट आटा चावल दालां मसाले ते जूस सारे बिल जमा करने गैस ते इलेक्ट्रिक ने टॉप अप भी करने पाकिस्तान पैसे बिल्कुल फ्री भेजने मतलब के एक चिड़ी ने दूध छड़ी ते हर शय लबनी
उठ जने ने आप उतरा
Amar Food Store and Halal Meat 613B Lincoln Road Peterborough telephone 01733 687374.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Community Matters, the radio show for all communities across Peterborough and beyond. With me, Adrian Holdstock, Community Matters asks questions that matter to our community life. As always, there are many topics and issues to discuss, and we have another couple of great guests joining me this evening. My first guest will be a familiar face and name to you. He's Akeel Khalil, the operations manager of Salaam Radio, and currently is acting as station manager while we recruit a new station manager for the radio. Welcome, Akeel.
Thank you, Adrian. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you as well. Now, Salaam Radio, I just can't believe this. Salaam Radio is 3 years old.
I know. I'll tell you what, time has flown.
Wow.
It really has.
And were you involved from the beginning?
No, I wasn't actually. I've been part of the station for 2.5 years now.
Okay, yeah.
So I think I joined probably 6 to 7 months into its journey. And obviously one of the reasons I'm here with you today is we're going to be celebrating its 3rd anniversary on Saturday. So yeah, I'm definitely like yourself. I can't believe how quickly time has passed by, and we seem to be going from strength to strength, which is a blessing.
Right. But how did you become operations manager? Have you had a radio background?
Yes, well actually I'll tell you what happened. I had no radio background. I didn't even know about the station actually. I was in a local car garage. I think it was actually about 3 years ago, and I was having a car MOT'd, and I could hear this radio in the background, and there was a nasheed being played, and I asked the mechanic. I said, "Oh, what's that?" And he said to me, "Oh, that's Salaam Radio. It's a Peterborough, Muslim radio station." And I said to him, "Oh, really? I didn't know that." Got into the car and I started playing. Oh, this is really good. Started listening to it and got involved in some of the debates. And I remember listening to Let's Talk or Friday Night Prime and all these things. And I was like, "Oh, this is really great," because there were so many different shows for different audiences. So I thought, "Oh, this sounds wonderful." And then there was a hate crime event here at the Allama Iqbal Centre, and that's when I met Amir, brother Amir, and we started talking, and from there I went on his show. We had a couple of interviews together, and then I became a radio presenter myself, and I am currently involved with 2 shows. So I have one show called Let's Talk, which is a weekly current affairs show, and I co-host a show called Geared Up with Amir. So I've been doing that for a while now, and it's weird because once it's quite daunting. If you've never done a radio before, and you're trying to prepare yourself for it, how it's going to be, and so on and so forth. And it's not as bad as people think. You just gotta give it a go, I suppose. Yes. And I mean, it's obviously different for yourself. You do public speaking with what you do for at the church and etc. For me, it certainly helped me realise some of my potential, which has been really, really good. So yeah, I mean, I had no radio experience, and then I find myself in a position where I was taking part in several different shows, and then early on this year, we, as senior management and the station itself, we were looking to, as the station is growing, to have a person involved with our strategic and commercial relationships, and I have extensive experience with that, with my previous roles in employment and so on and so forth. So I was given the opportunity to use that experience and fulfill this this role. So I'm enjoying it. It's going really, really well, and the proof is in the pudding, shall we say?
Sure. And we're going to come on to the celebration event in just a moment.
Sure.
But I'm really fascinated by your background. And has Peterborough always been home?
Yes. So do you know, it's funny. I was actually having an interview earlier on today.
Yes.
With somebody we both know really well, and I said, I was in that interview, I did say I was actually born in a house in Peterborough. Yeah, so I'm Peterboroughan, and yes, you know, I've got this is home, and in terms of I've grown up here. I moved out of Peterborough actually when I was 16. I lived in some of the big UK's biggest cities, and I moved back again, and then in my previous role of extensive operational experience and so on and so forth, so I was able to bring that to the role that I have now, so which is good. So obviously, as I just want to put this out there, it is a volunteer role.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask that. So operations manager, it's a good title,
yes,
but it is voluntary.
Correct.
Takes up all your time?
Not all my time, no. I mean, I do have a day job,
right? Yes.
And I'm able to fortunately do both without either of them impeding on each other. Right. And I think the thing as well with this role, with the operations role here at Salaam Radio, you know, I just want to give something back to the community, and I'm quite fortunate that the management team here, the senior management team, have entrusted me to do that. And the good thing as well is we're all working as a team. So our ultimate objective is that everybody in our community, regardless of what faith that is, or no faith, has a voice and a platform to express themselves.
Yes, indeed. As I say in my introduction, this show is called Community Matters, and it's for all communities across Peterborough and beyond.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And you know, seeing you here, Adrian, I have to say, is certainly something that we're proud of. And I'm sure you enjoy it. And we have, incidentally, yesterday or the day before, I was with one of my Sufi friends, and he was mentioning you.
Okay.
And he said, you know, Adrian's show is great. I love his delivery. So you have fans.
And one day I will be comfortable in the role, because it's quite daunting when you're live, realising that if you ask a question and your guest freezes up or gives a very short answer, suddenly you're going to run out of questions. Yes. And the last thing you want on live radio is silence.
Absolutely. We call it dead air. And yeah, I mean that is a no-no, should we say, on radio. So I completely concur. You know, I've been in that situation myself when I've been interviewing somebody, and that's happened, and you have to, I suppose the only way to get past that is, you know, everybody prepares for a radio show, and you try not to over prepare for it, but unfortunately in some situations you do have to have a backup plan. You know, if it goes that way, how are you going to interview this person, or you know, what else have you got planned? So that really goes down to the presenter.
Yes. Well, I once had a show, and normally I have two guests, one for each half of the show, and I once had a show where I didn't have a guest for half of the show that I'd hardly anticipated was going to happen. Yeah. And speaking for 26 minutes.
Yes, this is it. And, you know, I tell you what, you know, people will appreciate 26 minutes in the grand scheme of things doesn't sound like a long time. But on radio, it's almost like a lifetime. Yes. It really is. It really is. And then, you know, you got to... I think the thing is, you come across certainly as someone who's passionate about this. And I think once you get going... it becomes easier. Yeah, definitely.
Now, you mentioned Salaam Radio is managed by directors and a management team.
Yeah.
Can you help us understand the sort of effort, and predominantly voluntary effort, that goes in to producing a local community radio?
Right, yeah, good question. We have very hands-on directors, whether that's technical, commercial, strategic. They're very hands-on, they're very helpful. Obviously, you know yourself, our recent station manager, that position will be filled hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So the team essentially is directors, operations manager and a station manager. They're more of your day-to-day running of the station, whatever that role may be that they have. And then we have probably about 26 to 27 volunteer presenters.
Right.
And my understanding, roughly off the top of my head, so I'm probably going to get corrected, we have about 15 odd shows at the moment, all different types of shows.
Okay.
And it's a big undertaking, but I think with the team effort that we have, and all the hard work that was put in at the beginning. So the foundations have been put in there from the directors from the beginning, and then you could say the day-to-day effort was picked up then by the station manager alongside the directors. But it has to be said, we wouldn't be functioning without our volunteer presenters. Our presenters are key to this station, and they bring a wealth of their knowledge and wisdom and experience, and it comes across. We have some really, really good shows with really talented people, whether they're professionals or whether they're doctors or whether they're people of faith or whatever it may be, or whether they're none of those things, whether they're just a parent and they want to have a show and then talk about parenting. So I believe actually we cater for almost every different type of subject or social need. At the moment we are currently trying to work with communities that aren't already part of the conversation. We're trying to work with the Kurdish community, we're trying to work with the Roma community, so what, as you know yourself, living in Peterborough is a very, very diverse city, and one of our key objectives is to ensure that everybody can say, Salaam Radio is the place to go.
Surely.
Somewhere to have a show on, someone to listen to. So it's going to take time. We're 3 years in, and we're really, really happy for where we are right now. But we're aiming for much more loftier.
Indeed. Wow. Where could it go next? You mentioned the other nationalities and cultures and communities that we have in Peterborough. Do you expand across different languages?
Yes. So we do, and what you'll find is the station already has a few shows which are not in English, and I believe that the Kurdish community will be doing it in Kurdish and English.
Okay.
So the thing is, we want to allow them to do that, and because they need to feel they're part of the conversation, and if it means that they want to start off that way, then so be it.
Yes.
Obviously, we would prefer people to just be speaking in English, but that said, some of our communities in Peterborough are really small, and it's going to take some time for them to assimilate.
Yes.
And whether that's through a conversation on the radio or whatever it may be, we are all about building rapport and relationships with Salaam Radio.
Well, one of my big ambitions, I run St Mark's Church, as you know, on Lincoln Road, but also I chair Community First Peterborough, because we want to support and develop and look for opportunities for the diversity of communities that we have living in this area. It is to bring those communities together. And things like your festival coming up on Saturday, and other activities that we've seen going on in Peterborough, sometimes you get single culture or single nationality events, and those are fine, but in themselves, but they don't break the barriers between neighbours.
Yeah, I agree, totally agree, and I think we need far more unity events, and I think that's one of the things about Salaam Radio, the summer festival that we have. This year it just so happens to coincide with Eid, but you know yourself, in the last 2 years it's just been a summer festival, and we have had so many different nationalities come to our summer festival. We've even had people who don't speak English go on the airwaves and read poems and sing and even reading hymns and so on and so forth. It's because, if I was having this conversation actually with somebody, we have to give other people an opportunity. We and you, we're not going to be here forever, are we? No. There's the next generation we want, and the baton that we want to pass on to the next generation has to be a unification one.
Surely.
It has to be love thy neighbour.
Yes.
So, and I feel really passionate about that, and I certainly feel really passionate that the station itself, especially in our summer festival, we have so many inquiries for so many different types of stalls, and it's not always like, Asian food, it's not always Asian clothes, it could be Italian food or and so on and so forth. And our objective really is to ensure that anyone who attends our event, really enjoys themselves and can see how many things we all have in common, as opposed to, oh look, this is just an event for Muslims, and they're just doing this and no one else is invited.
Yeah.
It's very much the opposite.
Indeed. And I'll give you an example from last year, a connection that was made and has led to some great neighbourly work. I visited. It wasn't the best of weather last year.
No, it wasn't, was it? Can you remember? Yes. No. Yes.
So I took the opportunity wherever there was a tent to pop in and meet whoever was there, and I met the Hindu community, and particularly a lady called Rajni Reddy. She's been interviewed on here since, but I met her for the first time, and I said, I knew there was a Hindu community and a Hindu Mandir temple in Peterborough, but I'd never got round to visiting it, and I wanted to put that right. So she invited me along to their temple one Tuesday morning. It was absolutely beautiful, not only looking at the gods and the layout in the main temple area, but hearing the ladies sing. They were singing their hearts out.
Wow.
And then we went through into the main hall for food, and that was, I love Asian food, but their particular presentation of selection of foods was really lovely. And since then, Rajni and I always greet each other, namaste, and we're very friendly. I'm now going to be taking some Christians from St Mark's Church to the temple and to meet them. And I've managed to send our Bishop Donald, to go down and meet them there.
That's
and
wonderful.
That all came around because the festival that Salaam Radio put on at Millfield last year was actually not only invited but gathered together people of different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And we all felt as one and able to talk to one another. So shall we come on and talk about this year's festival?
Absolutely. I just want to add to that. That's really heartening, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have so many people from different backgrounds who are willing to, sit around a table, break bread, have conversations. Absolutely.
So, this must have taken a lot of planning.
Yes, absolutely. It has taken a lot of planning. We're currently exercising quite a lot of it. Tomorrow morning we're going to be very busy, and Saturday is going to be extremely busy. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think for me the pressure really is to ensure that we put on a good show, and we don't disappoint. But that said, hopefully we won't. The last 2 years have been really, really successful. So I can only urge parents or people who've just got some, make some time.
Yes.
Come along. It's between 12 and 6 p.m. and there will be plenty to do. And as you know yourself from experience, there's going to be so many different types of food as well.
Yes.
To try, and it'll be a great chance to meet new people. And if you're Muslim as well, it's a great opportunity to celebrate Eid as well.
Yes.
With us, and if you're not, it doesn't matter. You can still celebrate with us and have some nice food, and we'll be live on air as well. So we're going to be doing I'm pretty sure it's a continuous live air. So I'll be on air with Amir, and as we have done over the last couple of years, we'll give anybody an opportunity to go on air. So whatever they want to recite, or whatever they, whether it's some religious scripture, or whether it's a nursery rhyme, or if it's a song, whatever it is, we will give you an opportunity.
Wow.
And you never know, Adrian, we might find a presenter.
Gosh, yes. It says here, if you've got a talent and want to go on air, just tell us on the day.
Yeah.
And of course it's recorded.
Yes.
So it's not only broadcast live, which is quite daunting
Yes.
to be live, but nevertheless it's then available recorded on Salaam Radio and on Facebook and YouTube.
Correct. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. So yeah, there'll be a copy of it on social media, and especially if it's on YouTube or Facebook, it'll just stay on there. So you have an opportunity to, I suppose, engrave your moment.
You've got a lot of activities you've managed to line up. Have these people volunteered to come and do funfair rides and bouncy castles and so on, or has there been a lot of outlay?
There has been some outlay. To be frank with you, at the end of the day, some of these people are running businesses. So, that said, we have good relationships with the people. We're using the same people essentially over the last few years, so it's gone really well for the last few years. So, if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and the objective here was try to cater for everyone, really, to be honest with you. So it was, it's the summer holidays, so children are definitely going to be part of the equation.
Sure.
So have to ensure that we have, rides and bouncy castles and face painting and so on and so forth.
Henna, I know.
Henna.
Yes.
For
ice cream.
Ice cream. That's adults as well, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But then alongside that, we wanted to see if there's other things we can do, and I think for us this year would be really, really good if as many people as possibly can actually come and say hi to us on air. That would be really nice.
All right.
So I'm expecting you to pop along and say hi to us while we're on air.
I've got a project meeting mid-afternoon, but I can come at the beginning and
wonderful.
Maybe back at the end.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I just hope the weather stays. I mean, the weather looks fine in terms of the
Yes.
forecast that we've seen. It would be nice if it's like today. It's a slight wind, but it's bright, it's warm, so it'll be good for that. I mean, and then on top of that, we have there should be a vast array from the companies I've been speaking to. We should have catered for almost every cuisine. So
Wow.
come along and try the food.
So a variety of foods, a barbecue, clothes stalls.
Yes, so we've had quite a few inquiries. So I can say that clothes stores are going to range from children's clothes all the way up to adults' clothes, whether that's modest clothing to non-modest clothing to sports clothing and everything in between.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to that. There's some. I recall last year actually there was a company. I think they were from the Black Country, and they brought along sports. Men's sports modest clothing. Yes, and I bought one from them. It's like a matrix all-in-one, and that was pretty cool. So one thing that I've noticed about festivals is that you will meet people and companies and ideas that you wouldn't ordinarily know about. And because some people like to showcase their talents in a much more smaller environment before they go national. So I think that's another thing that appeals to me about festivals, and I think that's one thing that we definitely cater for. We give everybody a chance.
Surely. Now, is the site full? Because I notice on this poster it says for stall inquiries.
We're not completely full, so if you want to get involved, and we have still time, I can happily facilitate all day, for the rest of today and tomorrow, and even on Saturday morning, depending on what it is you want to do. What we're definitely trying to avoid doing is duplication. So if I don't want to have too many people selling or doing the same thing. But if people are interested, they can email info@salaamradio.co.uk.
There you go. info@salaamradio.co.uk.
Absolutely, and then we can take it from there.
Smashing. Good. I notice also you've got sports activities. Are you going to have a bit of a competition?
Well, yes. We're hoping. I tell you what, actually, you never know. Yeah, watch this space.
Right. It could be a rerun of the World Cup cricket.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? Obviously, I'll be playing for England. I'm just putting that out there right now. So we should have like an England versus a World 11.
Right. You know there is an interfaith cricket match.
No, I didn't know that.
Vicars versus Imams.
No, I did not know that. Is that real?
Absolutely, yes.
In Peterborough?
Not in Peterborough, but in England. Certainly.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
I did, do you know, I did not know that. That actually sounds really good. Have you ever been to see it?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, it just sounds more appealing than the Ashes, to be honest with you.
Surely. Now, you mentioned that this festival is not only birthday number 3 for Salaam Radio,
yeah,
but it also happens this year to have coincided with the festival of Eid al-Adha.
Yes, that's right.
Which has, I think, just finished.
That's correct.
However, we're still in festival mood.
We are.
It's like Christmas for us Christians. It goes on forever.
Absolutely.
We actually have a tradition we call the 12 days of Christmas, and the idea is that Christmas decorations are supposed to be put up on Christmas Eve, but these days they go up anything up to a month beforehand. But the 12 days from Christmas Day forwards to the 6th of January is when the decorations would come down again.
Okay.
So we will allow you to have Eid al-Adha on Saturday as well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That was actually probably our thinking as well.
Yeah. Well, next year it might have to be a spring festival.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. Any final thoughts as we come to the end of this first half of the show?
I just want to encourage everybody to take some time out. This is a major community event, and it's a great opportunity. It doesn't matter what time of day you come, please do come and support the event, even if you're here for half an hour or an hour. If your children are looking for something to do, by all means, come along and have fun with us on the day, and we will do everything in our power to accommodate anything that you may want to do. And if you are thinking about being a radio presenter, or if you have a show idea or whatever it may be, please approach us on the day, and we will do what we can to see if we can help you bring that idea to life.
Wonderful. Akeel, thank you so very much for sharing your own life story and your engagement with Salaam Radio, and the great news of the summer festival that's coming up this Saturday from 12 until 6 p.m. It's at Millfield Recreation Park, which is up Lincoln Road, near Recreation Road.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you. That's all we have time for in this half of the show. A big thank you to Akeel, and do stay tuned to meet our next guest, and we're going to be learning more about Peterborough life and how people are working across the city to improve Peterborough for everyone. Let's just have a final reminder. If you've got a talent and want to go on air, just tell us on the day at the Summer Eid Festival. There we go.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
कोई रत्तियां कमीज़ानी लमाना मारे मामा मिठियां में चीज़ानी।
मेरा नाम मुकद्दस है और कोट मेरा घर है, और ये मेरे लिए किसी जन्नत से कम नहीं। हमारे भी कुछ ख्वाब हैं जिनकी ताबीर को हमें पाना है।
आइए इन बच्चों के ताबनाक मुस्तकबिल के लिए अपना हिस्सा डालिए। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात, खैरात और इमदाद कोट को दीजिए।
UK number 0300 123 774. Website court.org.uk.
Peterborough just got a whole lot tastier. Five Lads Flame Grilled Peri Peri Chicken is now open. Bring your family and friends to Peterborough's first HMC meat selling restaurant. We are experts in grilled chicken, lamb chops and gourmet lamb and beef burgers. Our healthy options include fresh salads and fresh grilled vegetables. Fresh, clean and healthy grilled food with 4 different flavours: lemon and herb, medium, hot and extra hot. 5-star hygiene rating. Eat in, order and collect, or order for delivery on Deliveroo. Follow 5 Lads Peterborough on Facebook and Instagram. 5 Lads, 15 Cowgate, Peterborough, PE1 1LZ. Call 01733 56 22 87. Open 7 days a week, 12 to 11 p.m.
Almarad Tiles. With over 70 stores nationwide, we are now open in Peterborough. Up to 50% discount offers now on. Largest selection of tiles. Full bathroom suites from only £189. Paint, LED lighting, laminate flooring from only £7.99. Over 1,000 designs of wallpaper in stock. We have everything you need. Come and visit us at 193 Fengate, Peterborough, PE1 5BH. Or call us on 01733 34 58 47. Almarad Tiles, now open.
Had a car accident or an accident at work? Accident specialists are experts in no-win, no-fee accident claims. Leave the hassle to us. Our multilingual settlement experts will manage the entire claims process on your behalf, with nothing to pay up front. We provide services such as credit hire, taxi vehicles, recovery, storage and much more. For full details on our range of services and a free consultation, call us on 01733 555 774 or visit our office at 249 Lincoln Road opposite the NatWest Bank. Accident Specialists. Start your successful claim today.
Insure 24/7 is a community-based insurance brokerage offering competitive premiums and a great service. Taxis, properties and businesses, we cover them all. Call us on 01733 856699 or visit our new office at 304 Lincoln Road. Insure 24/7. We've got you covered. Insure 24/7 is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa bismillah. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الحياء شعبة من الإيمان. That modesty is a branch of faith.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
Welcome back to Salaam Radio on 106.2 FM and online at salamradio.co.uk. This is Adrian Holdstock presenting Community Matters, the radio show for all communities in Peterborough and beyond. My second guest tonight also joins me in the studio. She works for Vivacity and she is Sheena Carmen. Welcome, Sheena.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you.
You may have heard of Vivacity. Vivacity is an independent, not-for-profit organisation with charitable status. They manage many of Peterborough's most popular culture and leisure facilities for both residents of the city and visitors to Peterborough. Vivacity provides a myriad of opportunities for people to take part in cultural and leisure activities, art, heritage, learning, sport and healthy living all help to enrich and inspire our lives. Sheena is their Community Engagement and Arts Development Manager. So what do you actually do in that role?
Yeah, that is a long title. I always struggle when I say that. But so I, for example, I curate the gallery. So I put exhibitions on in the gallery. So I do quite a lot of work at the museum.
Mm-hmm.
I do a bit of work at the theatre with theatre development and also kind of events, outside events and projects out in the community. So it's quite a big role. Added to that, sculpture. So we have quite a big sculpture collection in Peterborough. I think it's 27 pieces, which includes Gormley, on the roof.
Oh yes.
In the city centre. So
yes.
We also restore and take care of those.
Yes, I remember standing in Cathedral Square and looking up and,
yeah.
Gosh, what's that doing up there?
Exactly, yeah, and I think some people probably haven't looked up.
Mm-hmm.
but if they do, it's an Anthony Gormley sculpture called Places to Be. There's 3 figures.
Right. That amount of work you've just described, do you have a team of people that...
I've got somebody that works with me, another colleague that works with
Mm-hmm.
me, but also we are part of the museum team, so we work together as a larger cultural team, so there is support.
And it sounds as if you're out in the community a lot of time, not office-based.
Well, that's the best part of it, actually.
Yes.
The best part of it is not being office-based,
Okay.
being able to sort of go out and about. So we have lots of exhibitions and projects that enable us to go out, and that actually, I think that's a very important part of what we do. Because if we don't get out, if we sit in the office all the time, we won't know what people are wanting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an important part, to be actually talking to community people.
Okay. So can you talk us through one or two of the projects that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah. So, for example, in the autumn, we've got a packed programme at the museum, but part of that is outreach as well. So we've got some exhibitions coming in partnership with House of Illustration in London, and it's humanising the plight of refugees. It's a really beautiful exhibition illustrated by migrant artists and artists who have witnessed some of the things that have happened. So it's really lovely. We've also got a refugee family who lived in a refugee camp for 4 years, the Durar family, and during that time they drew a lot of their experiences. The children drew, and they've developed these exhibitions. It's a lovely exhibition, and we're working with a Syrian artist called Issam Korbaj. And we're going to be coming out into the community to do lots of work with him. And actually, if I could just say a couple of things about that, we're looking for people who would like to take part in the project. So we are making, we talked about Issam and I talked about what we all have in common. And we decided actually homes.
Okay.
You know, everybody wants a home, and that's kind of our safety and security. So we're going to make a shelter which will have sort of fragments of lots of different cultures, and we're looking for people to help take part in that by sewing with us. We're going to make maps, kind of textile maps, but you don't need any sewing experience. So it could be a map about your family, it could be a map about a journey to get to Peterborough, what Peterborough means to you. You know, there's lots of different ways we can do it. So we're looking for people who would like to take part in that, but also we really need to have some clothes donated, because we're trying to make everything we do with a shelter, we're trying to make it from recycled clothes or fabric.
Sure.
So if anybody has clothes or fabrics that they could donate to us, that would be amazing.
Gosh, right.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's going to be any shortage of clothes and fabrics. You know, once you ask people, I remember a couple of years ago, was it, when we had the snow in Peterborough that stayed, and we opened my church hall at St Mark's for daytime use. People were phoning up every day offering to bring clothes that they had available and so on.
Yeah, people are really responsive, aren't they, to things like that, which is great.
Right.
That shelter is going to be at the museum for 3 days, over the 27th, 28th, 29th of September, and then it will move to Queensgate outside Primark on the 5th and 6th of October, when we can tell people all about the project. So it's going to be really great.
Now, appealing for clothes, where would people need to bring them?
Museum, if possible.
Okay.
But again, if they contact the museum, we can pick them up. Maybe even, I'll have to ask, maybe even here at Bell Centre would be great, and we can come and get them. That would be amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we can chat to Richard Farish, the manager here, and see if he'll hold on to them for us.
Yeah,
but otherwise, a direct contact or delivery to the museum in Priestgate.
That would be really great. Yeah. So that's one. And just sort of touching on the other things we've got at the museum, we've got an exhibition called Hordes at the same time actually as our Journeys Drawn, which is a partnership with British Museum, and actually it's really fascinating. It's about items that have been found in the local area. There's things like gold jewellery, coins, right back to the Bronze Age, Roman coins, obviously Must Farm, Flag Fen finds, but it also includes the Snettisham Talks, and I don't know if people probably know about that, but I do, because I live near Snettisham, and it's a really very, very beautiful bracelet. So that it's going to be a really lovely exhibition.
I wonder what sort of percentage of Peterborough's population have ever visited the museum?
I'd really love to know that, and I think that's something that we're really aware of, and we're trying to overcome that and that's why these community projects are really important. So working with Issam, etc., because we need to know what kind of things stop people from coming to the museum. You know, what kind of things would interest people. If we showed other things that we should be having as community exhibitions in there. Should we be adding things to the collection? Can people help us add things into the collection that actually reflect the demographic of Peterborough now?
Okay.
As opposed to maybe 20 or 30 years ago. So that would be a really interesting conversation as well, and one we'd really like to have.
I mean, I have been a couple of times, and I've enjoyed taking my grandchildren, because I know that there's going to be something there that will catch their interest. It's such a variety of different
isn't it?
objects and displays. It's not all one thing.
No, It isn't. It's arranged to be like that. So you've got the kind of social history, but then obviously you've also got all the sort of bones that children really like,
Yes.
the dinosaur bones, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things there. But again, we'd like to have things added to our collection. So
And there's something about the battleground, and I learnt why Norman Cross is called Norman Cross.
yeah, and actually we've got probably one of the best collections of Norman Cross collection is really important collection
Mhm.
of items that the prisoners of war made.
Mm.
So that is something that's really important
Yeah.
too.
And then if you manage to make it to the very top of the top floor, you see an operating theatre.
Yeah, Victorian Operating Theatre.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because actually the museum at one stage was a hospital during
Mhm.
the war.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
So we talked about fabric of society and the idea of sewing, but you don't need any skill at all.
No, absolutely none. So we'll be working with textile artists, and we can do all that for people. So and help them stitch it on. And actually, at the end of the project, when the shelter comes down, people will get to take their piece home with them.
Right.
So it'll
Okay.
be something for them to cherish at home.
What else is going on?
Well, we're also doing something called Paper Piece, and actually, I'm going to come and talk to you, Adrian,
Yes.
about this. But this is a project that's been going on for nearly a year now with young people in Peterborough, a group of young people, and their focus on in Peterborough Hope. There's 4 partners all over the country, and everybody's focusing on different things. So they've chosen Hope, and they're looking at what does peace mean in the city to people. And also, what are their hopes for the future? And we're going to hopefully interview people, maybe up to 30 people, asking them for their thoughts, which will be recorded,
Right.
and it'll go into the Peace archives. But it'll come into an installation, which I think people will be very interested to see. So we're going to have 5 giant eyes that you go into in Cathedral Square, and that is on the 23rd of November. So watch out for those.
Oh gosh.
And each of the eyes the content has been created by different groups of young people
Yeah.
from all over the country. But our Peterborough young people will have an eye. So come along
An
to that.
eye.
Yeah.
I'm just trying
A
to
giant
imagine
eye. I
what
know.
that would look like.
Yeah.
That you can big enough you can walk into.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Big enough you can walk into.
But
and
then there'll be information and displays
all
inside.
sorts of things happening inside.
Ooh.
Different installations, software, etc., digital installations. They'll be projecting onto the eye, so the eyes will possibly be blinking. So it'll be something spectacular to
Gosh.
see, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
How long will that be on show
It's
for?
for one day.
Oh.
It's only on for the Saturday, the 23rd.
Saturday, 23rd
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get my
You-
diary
you
out
must.
and make sure
You must.
it's.
I'll remind you.
Yes.
No, it'll be something really
Yes.
exciting, I think.
But now you talked about the 30 interviews you want to capture.
Yeah.
What will they be? What sort of questions will you be asking?
Well, the group themselves are coming up with a question, but it will be based something like, what are your hopes for the future, or what does peace mean to you in the city?
Right.
And they want to interview 30 people. So if there's people that are willing to be interviewed, please get in contact with us. But we'll also be coming to people that we know, like yourself. But those 30 interviews are just the beginning, actually, because during that day, the software will be capturing people coming into the space. And voices will be asking them some questions, and then the software will be recording what they're saying. And as it moves from Peterborough onto the next place, it will capture more and more people's contributions.
Right.
So it's very interesting. It's incredible what you can do with technology now.
Yeah. And put alongside the creative arts.
Yes.
Not just technology for its own sake.
No.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing about Peterborough, because it's a young city, we have a huge population of young people. I think that's the way we need to be going. We need to be looking much more at what we can do with technology.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, young people, there needs to be better provision for young people throughout the age ranges.
Yeah.
And is that something that Vivacity and the arts work can help with?
It is. It's something we're looking at. I think especially for me, it's kind of more the teenage years. We get a lot of family engagement, but then once they get to sort of 12, 13, they kind of want to do things on their own, and that's something we're looking at. But again, I think that's something we need to know what young people want. There's some really good organisations like Beat This, etc., working with young people doing with music provisions. But I think we need to understand. We're obviously doing a lot of arts, visual arts, sculpture. We need to understand what people want, young people want, and actually that's why Paper Peace has been so interesting. Because when they've been to various conferences with the other partners, in fact our group have been really strong, and they were the ones that came up with the eye idea. And that idea now has gone for all partners wanted to do that, but it actually came from the Peterborough group.
Wonderful.
So so our young people actually are out there, really.
Sure.
Yeah, and in fact the lead partner has said, Peterborough, those young people in Peterborough are incredible. So yeah.
Wow. I think that needs praising and promoting. And
it does, absolutely. And you'll be seeing that over the next few months. You'll be seeing lots of things about Paper Peace and the kind of things we're doing. There will be a Facebook page for Paper Peace, and you'll see a lot of the creation, how it's all happening. So these young people will go to Newbury, where there's a very large space where all the eyes will be set up, and they'll actually see their idea and work with a digital artist putting their idea together. So the idea really is that over this year they'll have learnt some skills. Some of them are going to university, some of them are at university, some of them are working in the city. So it's a real mixed bunch. But I've been really impressed, and so have the lead partner with Peterborough's contribution.
Wonderful, good. And 23rd of November for that.
Yes, Saturday.
Incredible event.
Yeah, in the Cathedral Square.
In Cathedral Square.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What else is coming up?
So we've got things at the obviously Key Theatre, which is I do a bit of theatre development as well, and we've got something called Payne's Plough coming there, and it's a theatre piece about love, but different cultural backgrounds coming together. And again, we're going to be doing some outreach work with that. So it'll be on our Facebook, on our website, etc., so people can have a look. Please do look, because they are very highly thought of, Payne's Plough, in the autumn.
Yeah. You mentioned Key Theatre, and I occasionally go to Key Theatre, usually for live shows.
Yeah.
But perhaps my particular choice of event that I go to, I find that I'm sitting with other people of my own background, culture, nationality.
Yeah.
Does Key Theatre or does some other venue offer opportunities for people of other languages and cultures?
We've been building on that and really developing on that. So we've got quite a lot of different cultural groups now using the theatre, putting on their own performances, and we're looking much more about again what would people like. And there's things like developing the film offer there. So we've got films in different languages. If there's community groups that would like to see a particular film, they can talk to Jag Singh, who is the general manager there, about films that they'd like to have brought there. And Jad's got amazing contacts within the film industry. So that's something we really want to develop. Again, I think it's always very difficult to reach people. And that's why outreach is so important. So what I would say that we are very welcoming. We would love to hear from people about the kind of things actually they'd like in Peterborough. So if people could contact us, or contact us through Facebook or whatever, and come up with things that they'd like to see, then we'd be really interested.
So there's somebody there listening out, looking out, wanting to hear great ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, for example, we've got a Sikh exhibition at the end of November. And that's just through them contacting us, saying they'd like to put an exhibition on, and that's the kind of thing we really want, because we need to have a programme that actually is for everybody in Peterborough, and we can only do that from people telling us what they want. But we are working hard at that, so I'd encourage people to come and talk to us.
Surely.
Contact me.
Yeah. Right. Wow. There's an offer.
Yes.
Might we put a contact point on our
Please
website?
do. Yeah. No. Please do.
And our own Facebook page, and we'll cross-link with yours.
That would be great.
Good.
Be really great.
Now, Vivacity also, I think, do you manage the library? Or is that
Vivacity does manage libraries? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you've got the John Clare Theatre above the library.
Yeah, exactly. It's a small theatre, but again, it's available for community groups to use. I know some do use it.
Yeah.
There is a charge which has to cover the lighting, etc., the core cost, somebody being there. But again, it's a lovely space. It's a smaller space. I think it probably seats about 100 people or so. And I know there are different community groups have used it for films, etc. But it's there and it needs to be used. So I would encourage people to come forward.
Yeah.
Contact me if they want it, if they want to use it, and I can put them in contact with the relevant people.
That's wonderful. I actually know the number it can seat because I was involved in planning the recent St. Francis meeting the Sultan pilgrimage, where we gathered people from across the city, but particularly I think Christians and Muslims were interested in this. It's the 800th anniversary since St. Francis took himself off to the 5th Crusade and decided to cross the battle line and go and visit the Sultan. We're not quite sure what his motive was, but the outcome was that St. Francis came back with a sense of the compassion and the civilization that was there in the Sultan and his Muslim friends, and that influenced the Franciscans. So now we're used to St. Francis and the Franciscans and the brothers and so on, but some of what they've developed in their method and their rule of life comes from Islam, comes from that Sultan.
I think you've just flagged up something there which is really important. It's about cultural understanding.
Yes.
And to be fully integrated, we need to understand each other, and I think that's where often people misunderstand things.
Right.
And I think that's why working together, and actually that's where I think culture is, arts, it's very powerful. Because there's no barriers.
Yeah.
Even language. I mean, with Fabric of Society, which was a project we did in the autumn, and we'll be starting again this autumn, but that was using textiles. But there's no barrier with arts. A lot of it is visual, and we just shared ideas, and people developed language, and it's a really rich experience. But it's all about understanding each other, and actually, there's far more similarities than there are differences.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think what you've just illustrated when you talked about that is what we need to be doing now, is actually reaching out to people, reaching out to each other.
Well, that was a one-off example, and I think 148 seats in John Clare, something like that.
Yes, so that's bigger than I imagined,
yes. Well, we had about getting on for 100 people, and we watched the film Francis and the Sultan. Then we did little mini pilgrimages. We went round to All Souls Church, to the garden, then to Park Road Baptist Church for a meal, Asian food that everyone loved and shared, and then a longer pilgrimage from there to Faisal Medina Mosque, where we had some great cakes and cold drinks.
A kind of trail.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, lovely.
Yes.
Lovely, yeah. I think I went to a Sikh film actually at a couple of years ago at John Clare Theatre, and it was packed. So 148 seats. We need to tell people that.
Yes, and a very modest charge. Which obviously covers costs, but enables communities to be able to use it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can show your own film on a DVD in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, something else that when we met a few months ago, you were talking about was the planning school sessions with the National Literacy Trust as part of Peterborough Celebrates Reading.
Yes. So that's starting this year.
Oh, is it?
And we will be doing lots of workshops, both actually at the museum, but also outreach. So we'll be going out to schools. And in fact, when I just talked to you about Fabric of Society, that will also be involved in Peterborough Year of Reading, because we're going to go to schools and make props and things with families
yes.
To tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole idea of Peterborough Celebrates Reading is about encouraging families to read together, do things together. So it might even be going to a puppet show, or going to the library together. Lots of kind of fun activities like that, and that's going to be happening this year. But we will also be doing workshops in schools, and I know some schools have already contacted. The museum actually have quite a successful programme, very good connections with schools.
I think that's so important that parents feel able to get involved in the education that their children are receiving.
Exactly.
I'm a governor at the Beaches School, and we occasionally have coffee mornings where the parents come in and sit with their children through a lesson and get involved in doing what the children are doing, and they love it. In fact, I was there once and I saw one mum. She wouldn't be drawn away from the desk. She had to finish her work.
We often find that actually, that when we have activities, the parents get really involved in it, and want to make a piece themselves, whatever it is. And we do a lot of storytelling, and that's it's a fantastic thing to see families sitting down together. When you're talking about the beaches, we're hoping to go to the beaches actually with Fabrica Society. And we'll be working with them, making some props in a kind of reading cafe.
Wonderful. You'll be most welcome there.
Thank you.
And a great opportunity or that you'll see in the beaches is that different cultures, faiths, nationalities all learn and live together in great harmony. I'm so impressed with the culture that's been established in that school.
Yeah. Well, children have no fear about other cultures. They're absolutely open, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
and that's such a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think with Fabrica Society that we had women from, I think it was 14 different countries taking part in that project. And we're now, in fact, going on to phase 2, which has been funded by the integration funding.
Right.
But that's what was so fantastic about it.
Wow. Well, on that note, let me draw us to an end, because we are coming to the end of our time this evening. Thank you, Sheena Carmen.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome. Just a reminder, you are the Community Engagement and Arts Development Manager at Vivacity. They can find you on Facebook or contact you at your office at the museum. You'd love to have some old clothes and fabrics handed in to you.
That would be great. And if you can put my contact onto your website, that would be amazing.
Surely, we'll certainly look at that as well. So that's all we have time for tonight on Community Matters. Remember, you are the community that matters wherever you are, and we'd like everybody to be a community that lives in peace and harmony. So from me, Adrian Holdstock, Salaam, Shalom, Namaste, and the peace of God to you all.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Here at Children of Adam, we believe